Go ahead and call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Cummins?
Here.
Mr. Clifton? Here. Mr. Cribbett? Here. Mr. Lindsey?
Here.
Mrs. Shaw?
Here.
Well, we have some exciting introductions this evening. We're going live as a board for the first time in school history. So on August 26, 2026, on Wednesday night, we are live for the first time. And I want to thank the IT committee, communications committee, Melanie and Brandon. You've done a lot of work, and Amy, done a lot of work to make this happen. I know we talked about this probably 10 years ago, and we're finally live this evening. So congratulations to this board for being even more transparent with our community, and hopefully they listen along and chime in with questions as the years go on. So we're live this evening for the first time ever. All right? If everybody will join me in a pledge of allegiance. The flag is fine. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any additions to the agenda, Mr. Superintendent?
Yes, we have a few additions to the agenda, a couple field trips that came in, some of Alan's approval items that got carried over from the previous format, and then 2 personnel items related to the drill team and the volunteer. Those are the additions to the agenda. One communication, and that's just from the Harmony Hill. They wanted everybody to know that on September 19th, they are hosting at Harmony Hill the 256th birthday celebration of William Lytle. There's going to be a lot going on September 19th from 10 to 4. So, shared that. I'll move into my report if that's all right. Tonight's Alan's night with the forecast, so I'll try to be brief. Bottom line, we are just off to another great start this 2026-2027 school year. A lot of excited students. We have some very good classes at both buildings. We are over 500 kids at both buildings, even when you take out the grant students going to Grant Career Center. And it was business as usual about 10 minutes after school started last Wednesday. And that's just proud to report. That's just a testament to everybody for their planning and prep. And I just want to thank everybody for getting this school year off to a great start. It's a custodial and transportation and technology team doing a lot of work beforehand, and then the staff being ready on the day of. So great start to the school year. With that, some of our activities and athletics are up and running in full throttle, and everybody off to a successful start there. From an athletic standpoint, I'll continue to update you on a monthly basis as we get further into the fall season. I gave you all a fall schedule. Compliments to Mr. Mobley, it's at prior to the pocket schedule. I do want to call out another successful year too, because they thanked us. It could have been a communication. The Inter-Parish Food Ministry, the food pantry, that we host 3 of those drive-up pantries every year. They were very appreciative. The final one was last week. A lot of our athletes assisted with that too, and they're very appreciative of that, unloading the semi, packaging the food, and then rolling through usually between 100 and 110 drive-up cars for the food pantry. So good community service for our students and a good service to our community. There is on the agenda tonight OSBA, so we need to discuss that when we get to that motion. That's just a reminder that our annual OSBA conference November 15th and 17th. We just need to know who's going for hotel purposes, and then do the delegate and assistant delegate. A couple of exciting things from at the high school right off the bat. 2 pre-apprenticeships that started today. We have 6 kids in a healthcare pre-apprenticeship. They meet weekly online, and 3 kids in an IT pre-apprenticeship. That is done as a consortium through Inter-Alliance of Greater Cincinnati, and then our Claremont County group that Morgan runs from the Williamsburg perspective. Michelle was at Grant today coordinating all of our VM. We have 343 VM students this year in several courses. That's a vocational middle students. So once again, just more good career tech news. Everything else being reported report are on the web. So that'll conclude my report for tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. We'll go to report from U.S. Grant Center. Sam?
For the grant meeting, we talked more about the upcoming meetings that will be happening for the levy. We also went over the budget for the year, the forecast, which is extremely healthy. They also said that their school year started off extremely well with high numbers of students.
We also talked, what was it talked about, the presentation was Young Science? Was it called Young
U-Science?
U-Science, yeah.
That we're all a part
It's
of.
integrated in our school as well, and it's an interesting thing that they start with freshmen to kind of gauge their aptitude of what they're good at as far as in school, and they may not even know, and then try to tie that to a career-based curriculum of some sort, either at their public school or at the vocational school. So fun to see that that's integrated in all 4 districts, and we'll see where that takes the students. So, very important. All right, we'll move on to the moment of the hour. So the treasurer's report this evening. Alan?
While that's loading, we can jump in and talk about the other reports. We'll circle back to the 5-year forecast. In your email, you should have the cash summary report and the check spread report for your review. You also would have the annual commercial reporting, and that's just any commercial debt that we have, or commercial paper that we have. That is short-term promissory notes from a company. And so we just have to report that to the board. This report's actually going away. We have to send this report to the auditor of state and the Ohio Department of Education. So this is the last year we have to do that report to them. So this, we won't have to do this next year.
It's on the screens behind you. Good. I got it on my screen.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
All right, so the 5-year forecast presentation, I did email this presentation to you also. And this format had quite a few slides, and I cut a lot of it. It's still a long presentation. I'm not going to do a deep dive on every one of these screens, but I do have the forecast cut and pasted in the last several slides that we will dig into. I figure it's a little easier for you to look at small sections of the forecast versus trying to look at the entire format at one time. So we'll see how this works out. House Bill 129 has a lot of, affected our forecast in many ways. It affects 20 mil for calculation. It's also having a pretty large effect because it's reducing what we can see in property tax value. So overall, it's about a $1.5 billion effect because it's also capping what we can see in future growth. There's a different number that we're actually showing some credits because we're only crediting for the past year, so that's a little bit different number, but it's also capping what we can see in growth in the future through the GDP deflator. And we'll see those numbers a little bit later in the forecast. The next slide, there we go, loading. This talks about the caps, and so this is something new that we've not seen. We saw this back in the February forecast. Again, we have these caps that are now in place with the GDP deflator. So we're looking at 8.5 down to a little over 7% expected GDP in the future. So when the counties do a reappraisal, we're not going to see, if the county comes in and says we have 30-40% increases, we will no longer see those. We would see the cap would be the GDP deflator. The values will still show on the taxes, but the amount we get will be lower. So it does also have an adverse effect to our state foundation. So the state foundation will see that we have higher valuations. Will push our state funding down also at the same time. So we have some negative things working against the district that we did not have back in the October forecast. So this is relatively new, and we still don't have firm numbers yet. I do not have the final summit from Claremont County to confirm numbers. So there's still estimates. If something to change dramatically from the forecast, we'll report back to the board. But we're still waiting to see. I did talk to our forecast consultant. He says a lot of things can still change between here in February. So I'll keep the board apprised if anything changes that we didn't expect.
I'll step in there real quick. It's a nice recap on the property taxes. I did little numbers. Like over the last 9 years, our average raise on property taxes per year has been about 3.5%. Over the last 5 years, it's been 17. Over the course of the 5 years,
Yeah.
the last 4 years have been 18% accumulated. The last 3, 9.6. Last 2, 1.8. There's been a steep fall off, and we have projected over the next 4 minus 6.78. So kind of what you were saying, the fair school funding's gone, biannual budget, they're still trying to figure it out, but never in the history of the last 10 years have we seen a negative 6.78 in property tax accumulation.
Those are credits from the prior years
Yeah.
that it's within us. And we'll eventually start going back up, but we're just going to be in this 3-year, 4-year period where the credits are clawing back of money we should not have received.
I know, you told me that, but
And
it'll be interesting to see if they keep it that
that's-
way, because when 30 to 35% of all schools' funding comes from property tax revenue, you have a negative 6% increase over 4 years, where a cumulative it was 17 over 4.
Yep.
That's a big swing, right? That's a
It's a
huge
tremendous
swing in 35% of your income. So I just kind of wanted to set that. I know you and I have talked about that a lot. The numbers are just significantly different than it has been.
They're very different.
Significantly different. And I didn't even go into PUPs even kind of worse from a percentage perspective. So, go ahead, I'm sorry.
So we'll jump into revenues here. 50% of our money comes from the state foundation. 25% comes from local taxes. This 17% other local, a lot of that is going to be our pilot and tip payments that are sitting in this amount here. And PUP is our public utilities, 3%, which is also expected to decline with the Duke Energy amount. It's about a $5.2 million value that they're investing right now.
If you pulled that other local, I'm trying to remember back years ago, would you say real estate, if that wasn't in there and Williamsburg wasn't sitting in the location that it is, that we relied about 45% on real estate before pilots and things of that nature?
I'm not sure what that number is, Jeff. I'd look at the prior forecast to tell you.
I remember Julie said it was like 50-50 back in the day. It was pretty
Pretty
balanced.
even.
So we were a very heavily weighted district funded, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Local versus state funding. Our local revenues, you can see each year how much our local revenue has gone up. State revenue has also slightly gone up, but not near as much as what the local has gone up. The majority, 55% of all district funding comes from the state. The Fair School Funding Plan is being phased in. And the note here says state legislature does not appear to be in favor of continuing to phase in. So there's some talk about not continuing to phase in. But we don't know the next biennium are they going to increase base cost. This forecast does have 3% on the next biennium and the following biennium 3%. A lot of districts are flatlining that. We discussed back in, I believe, October, February, about let's put something, the state's more likely going to do something, but in this environment, we're unsure. So it's something for us to, when the next biennium comes up, we have to be very attentive to, that could greatly affect our forecast. If they flatline it, that's going to negatively impact our forecast, but if they put going towards base cost, it's obviously going to help us. This next one, unrestricted state funding. You can see it's relatively flat here. This also shows you the difference between the February and the October forecast. So that October should be August. This is still probably the old format, so don't pay attention to October, it should be August. So it's pretty close to what we had before, so it just gives you an idea. Again, here's a note about the 3% base cost increases in FY28 and FY30. South Afton, a big part of this forecast, and we saw 17% is South Afton monies. In this, we are transferring money to the Special Projects Reserve Fund. We'll get into how much we're transferring and why a little bit later, but some of these monies are being transferred. We're not transferring the full amount. I'll break down a little bit later for you. All right, expenses. 77% of our expenses comes from salaries and benefits. We're also coming off an era of where they had the ESSER dollars. So if you look at prior forecast, you might say, well, why do we go up so much from this prior forecast? There was a lot of dollars being offset from the general fund from the COVID dollars, the ESSER dollars. And so that really throws off forecasts when you look at, well, why did our salaries go up? Why did our benefits go up so much? Why did purchase service go up? Why did equipment go up? A lot of those things were offset from the ESSER dollars that expired FY25 is the last expenses were made to the ESSER dollars. We had a 3.75% on our health care for this next year. We're forecasting 5.75 next year, and that's 6. Our average is hovering between 5.75 and 6%. So we're below the long-term average on health care. If you look at this next graph, it's the general fund expense by object. An object is the category of spending, so we have wages, we have benefits, we have services, materials or supplies, capital outlay is going to be equipment, and other audit expenses, and bank fees, real estate, auditor fees, those type of things. As you can see, if you look at the comparison of the graph here, if you look at the blue at the bottom, that's salaries and benefits. That is by far the largest category that has grown from 24. Now remember, 24 is going to be really offset, and FY25 is going to have some offset there from the ESSER dollars. But we've also had some salary increases and some staff added since then, and you see the jump here. And so the salary benefits make up the largest increase overall. Purchase services, there's definitely a slight increase in comparison with the services. There's not a large jump when you just look at it visually here. Most of it's going to be in salaries. This is the transfer out page. This is just a breakdown of everything that we're transferring out from the general fund. And walk everybody through this. I know the board has seen this many times. The tech reserve, that's going to be money set aside. In the past, there's been more than just equipment bought out of it. With the new funding structure that I have, most of that's going to be set aside just for equipment, for servers, for Chromebooks. We're talking about more equipment type stuff. Our daily operation will come from general fund. So there's a little bit of a shift there that we're working through, and Amy and I will keep an eye on that. Computers, servers, and such. It's possible once we get this with the new budget, we may need to change this. I think we decreased this the last forecast, so we may need to bump this up. We may need to make some changes as we work through this. The special reserves project, this one has changed quite a bit. This is a flat amount, which is going to be fairly close to the amount that we're receiving for the pilot and tip payments. I'm sorry, I said it wrong. Not what we're receiving, it's what we're spending on our capital improvement projects or COPS funding. So it's paying for the roof loan and the STEM lab gym is going to be paying for the new elementary. So this is just matching our payments. It's not dollar for dollar, but it's within, over the life of the forecast, it's within like $50,000 or $60,000. So I just used a flat number that for current year moving forward. So this is a point of discussion for the board. How are we going to utilize those dollars? And so this allows us to put more cash, or leave more cash in the general fund and buy more time to figure out what we're going to do in the future years. We'll see that here in a minute. The PI earmark, that's just our permanent improvement fund. I've got 250,000 a year going here. I'm not sure that's gonna be enough to maintain facilities, but we don't look at the newer facilities that we have, it may be okay. But with the high school, parking lot, with HVAC, $250,000 does not go very far. I'm not sure this is sustainable long-term for the district, but right now it's a plan to tighten the belt to ensure that the general fund is protected.
That's something we need to talk about as a board, because we used to have that, they said 400,000. At one point, it was 300,000, so that's the lowest mark that I've seen in my time here, so we'll have to have a discussion on that.
Yeah, I don't think it's long-term is gonna be enough.
That's not sustainable.
But we do have another fund that we're putting money into, and that's the OFCC maintenance fund, and that will be earmarked for that project. So we will have money set aside for that. So we have to keep that in mind, that we may, this 250,000 may be okay, but there will be some things that the board will decide what's important, what's not, and some hard decisions want to be made through that process. The severance fund, I've got 50,000 a year going into this. If we do experience a large number of people retiring, there likely will not be enough money there. But with that, we'll see savings in salaries, benefits, we finish replace or not replace, and so, general fund will see some savings there, but we may have to bump the severance up in the future.
Yeah, we're a very tenured, we have a very tenured staff. Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's something that the finance committee needs to take a look at and give them a per staff member that might retire and understand what that number is, because we're pretty tenured.
Oh, yeah, those predictors are already out there, and that is, we know that's low as of now.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to keep bumping that up.
Yeah. When you look at, I was looking at some numbers from 2004, and you get that 10 to 15-year range, we're gonna have a large number of people. And so at some point, this district's gonna have to start building that up, and being prepared for that. But right now, with the financial situation of the general fund, I didn't feel like we could build it up, it's just more of having enough to react to what's in front of us.
I like the 10 to 15-year range. I'm more like 5 to 10 on that one, because I know most of them. So.
It's 5 to 15 is the
there's-
number.
Yeah, there's a group of about 5, there's a large group in that 10 to 15
Is there?
year
Okay.
window.
I'm glad.
At least from the stat that I saw, that was
Good.
the forecast note for 2004, or sorry, 24.
Yeah.
The next one is student activity, and payroll benefits, and then you have athletic payroll benefits. So some adjustments happen here to match what we're spending. This is also tied to the base teacher salary schedule, and so we're going to see some increases here because all the supplementals are tied to that. So I make sure that those increases match what the teacher increases were.
Does the athletic payroll include the athletic director?
Does.
Seeing it now?
Yep, it does. Yep. So those are our
Does
transfers.
that also include, like, Andrew, the trainer? For that number, or is that?
The only thing we pay Andrew for is those 2 classes we're approving him for tonight.
That's-
Mercy takes
That's-
care of that.
that's
through
what I thought.
sponsorship.
Okay.
Got some notes here. We talk about normal maintenance of facilities, capital projects, renovation. The PI earmark is also going to pay for buses. A bus right now is about $140,000 to $150,000. They're very, very expensive. So if we need to replace buses, that $250,000 will not last very long. We did replace, I think, a bus last year. It was just one on the mat.
And we're gonna need one sometime in the
And
next
we've
calendar.
spent we've had a pretty large investment this year in getting our buses back in a good operating order through our new provider who does maintenance for us. Transfers out, I wanted to show you how much I've changed the transfers going out. That's the money that we received from the pilot and TIP payments. The amount that we have reduced is about 1.6 million. I thought it was closer to, but I forgot to include the maintenance facility funds, 75,000 we put in per year. So once I put that back in there, we've reduced our transfers out of the general fund by $1.65 million over the life of this forecast. And that's just putting enough money into our debt service fund for the cost payments. But it leaves about a year in there, so there's still a year cushion left in that fund, a little bit more.
So you're leaving about $325,000 a year of the 5-year forecast out, of transferring out of that. Is that correct? Is that what
Yes,
you're saying?
there's the monies that we are projecting to receive, and I do have the forecast updated with the new
Okay.
valuations that we saw on tax plats, and we'll see those next year.
You've got 1.65 across 5 years out of the South Avenue Fund.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
So those are just propping up general fund. Right now, we do not have those earmarked for anything particular. It's just sitting there as a cash reserve at this point. I know we talked with the board about earmarking certain positions or programs to those dollars. And so we do have a lot of work to do.
Does that include the 120 we already approved, or is that?
That's total.
That's total.
Total.
All right. So it's really about 240.
Great.
Okay. And it keeps our balance there, what, about 1.3 across the line?
It's, the 1.2 to 1.4, it kind of hovers in there, yeah.
Keeps the balance there.
So that's something we'll just continue to monitor to see, maintain that balance. There may be a time when we need to spend it down to maintain general fund. We can, it'd be nice to have that 1 year, just in case one of the payments do not come in a timely manner, we have to make a COPS-limit payment.
How much time do we have to make decisions on how much we transfer in and out? Transfer out?
I won't move this until January, February.
But you can move it anytime you want.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
There's no cap in time.
Correct. So we may want to wait until the February forecast comes out to see how are things actually looking based on the estimates we had, because it could change the picture of what we want to do.
Yeah. As long as
Yeah.
maybe a set time.
So the large transfer, I don't need to make right now. We don't have enough cash in there to make our COPS loans, so I don't need to make that large transfer for our COPS debt. The athletic and student, we will have to, I think we actually approved those last month. I will need to fund these throughout the year to maintain a cash balance so I can pay coaches and our advisors. With the performance improvement, I don't think I need to move any, we're not going to move any cash this year. The OFCC, we have to do it by in July of every year, so we've already moved those monies. So some of them we have moved, some of them we can wait. This is the bottom line. You see our ending cash, and we're quickly going down to zero cash in FY28. We're actually in negative territory here in FY28. That's with the change we made. That's with not replacing system principal. That's from true of our cash flow from last year. So the trend hasn't changed a whole lot, but we have improved our situation to some extent.
When does the levy fall off, the emergency levy?
It falls off. Well, I'll show you that here in just a minute. You'll see it falling off. So right now, you see the deficit spend, and it continues to widen. And this green line here is the cash flow. So we would run out of cash somewhere in the midpoint of 2028, 29. This shows your days of cash.
So everybody remember, we have a 60-day board policy.
So you're just slightly beneath the 6-day policy this year.
Yeah, I see that. That's why.
Slightly below, slightly below. So we have a lot of work to do to figure out how do we
We do.
correct
Yes,
this.
we do.
We've already done a lot of the work as far as looking into severance. We've looked into creating a whole new chart of accounts to track budgets. We're still in the process of looking at, so all the requisitions have been created this year. All payroll, all benefits are now using the account codes. So my goal is for next month is to go and true all those up and balance. It is balanced overall to the forecast, but I have to go back into each category and see how things are actually trending. And so I should have pretty good data in September, maybe even in October. And then once I have that, I'm gonna lock these budgets down. And then moving forward, the district should always have these budgets locked down. And that will prevent things from being overspent. So at least whatever we're gonna forecast, it puts the guardrails up where the district can't accidentally spend money that they didn't anticipate. And so it just takes a while to get there. This past month has been very, very busy in the fiscal office, and we've had to scrutinize every single PO to make sure that the right accounts are being used. The great thing is, next year when everybody does the POs, they can copy these, and so they don't have to guess the account code. So a lot of work, and they did back us up on placing for orders and stuff this year, but all those orders have been made, and Eileen's done a great job. He's not caught up, so it's been a lot of work on her. also with Tammy, we also got all the benefit codes now are tied back to the salary code. That's an automatic function. Before we were manually updating a purchase order to post all of our benefit costs, and now that's all automated. And so we're actually able to pull it off of 1 month. And I thought it was going to be a 4-month timeline to get that, but it usually doesn't go that smoothly. So let's try it and see how it works, and it worked really well. We just had to make a handful of corrections, and so that's working really well for us. We'll have some really good information come out of here. So that could change some things that we're seeing in categories of expense, because now it's tied to the salary account, so it can't be wrong. This screen here talks about challenges in operating. It talks about the House bills. It talks about the school funding plan formula. If it's not fully implemented, if we don't get a base cost increase, that negatively affects the forecast. If they give us a 6% base cost increase, that greatly improves the forecast. So we won't have that information probably until May, June of next year. So we'll have to keep our eyes and ears open for that. This is the revenue section. So now we're in the forecast section, and I just want to take snippets of the forecast so we can do each section individually and work through it. So line 1.01, that's your general property tax. Moving down, you will see the PUB. You'll see it has been decreased based off of assuming that the Duke Energy might be reduced this year. If it doesn't, we'd be looking more like FY26, so we'd see 576,000 versus 772,000. So I will stay in communication with Cumberland County auditors, and they're really good about communicating with us. So if we hear anything different, we'll probably let the board know. Unrestricted grants, that's going to be our state funding. Restricted, that's going to be our restricted funding. It's going to be like wellness, EPIA, English learners, those pots of money. This is the state reimbursement for property taxes. This line 1.05. As you see, we're going to see a bump this year. So the state is going to reimburse us for 50% of our loss of our tax credit year one. There is no legislation to continue doing that going forward just this year.
So I ask you a question on the public real quick. Do you have Purina calculated into that assessed value?
No,
for
there's
air
not.
utilities?
No. It should be utility type stuff.
Yeah, their gas and their electric and things of that nature. So
It would be mostly Duke Energy.
Duke Energy program.
Yeah, that's most of what that's going to be. The pilot is going to be in line 1.06. So any pilot that we did or any future pilots, once the board decides to put this money directly somewhere else, they'll show up in this line item. At this point, we have all pilot payments, all pilot payments going to general fund. We're not directing those to any other fund directly at this point. And with our general fund situation, I would recommend making any changes right now. Keep the status quo and give us time to balance out the forecast. Next section is expenses. As you can see, this top line of the personnel services, it's from 2024. Remember, we still had ESSER dollars here, so this is going to be lower at the 6 million. It's going to be lower because of ESSER dollars. Even into 25, this will be a little bit lower, and actually is because of the federal dollars that we received. And so from 26 to 2023, you see there's a significant increase in salaries alone. The next line is going to be your benefits. They do increase, but not near the rate that we're seeing with the salaries. Purchase services. Remember, these first 2 years here are really going to be offset by any ESSER dollars we had. And so in FY26 is probably a truer look of what we're going to see for purchase services. We do have some high-cost kids that have moved in. I was talking to Tina today, our special ed director, and so we're going to get estimates on that, but we're looking at a significant amount for these students. Could be $20,000 to $40,000 each for each one of these students, so we don't have the numbers just yet. We're still putting together a
It might be 20.
Hmm?
It's more 30 than 50.
Is it anyone?
Yeah.
Okay. So once we get those quotes, we'll have a better idea. So I'm updating the we're continuing to update the special ed budget as we go, looking at all the quotes and all the costs we received this year and put purchase in. Once we have that, we'll be able to lock down the budget, so if anything was to come later, it would force us to come back to the board and ask for appropriation change, or we'd have to take it from somewhere else within the budget that's going to force those discussions automatically moving forward.
Quick question back to revenues, Alan. You may have put the, it may be later, but as we have increased students in our seats with those line items in section 1, did you just leave a flat line until we true up in October? Or did you show any increases with that?
It would have been trend data, wherever the trend has been.
Okay.
Once we get out of this, I'll jump in, I can answer that a little bit later.
Okay.
I can tell you what in there.
Other than basically some student foundation.
Right.
Yeah, if we do receive, if we maybe an increase in enrollment, it will, since we are on a funding formula, it will drive additional revenues for us. So this is the bottom line, this is the revenue minus the expenses. This does not include the renewal of the emergency levy. So FY '27, we're looking at deficit spending nearly $860,000. Next year will be 1.4 million, 2.1, 2.8, 3.2. This is our cash balance. This is without renewing the emergency levy. This year we'll end about 2.7. Next year 1.3, and then FY '29 we be into deficit spending. And then we'll continue to grow from there. So it really begins to compound upon itself. And this is the number if we were to renew the emergency levy. The bottom line is 12.0 or 12.01. It will show you that it does come back in 2030, and then 2031, we will bring the dollars in, so it does increase our cash balance by this amount. So the board will have to make some decisions on, does it need to pursue that levy? Is there other levy options? What other things can we do to balance the budget?
That's a significantly lesser rate than the 947,000 that we were getting from that originally, correct?
Right.
What's the number you have up there? 340?
That will be 613.
613 is what you're estimating to be
Yeah.
if we renew the current levy. It's around 33%.
In our understanding with the new House bills, it will continue to reduce that. At some point, it won't be worth renewing. But right now, there's still some life and value to it.
Okay.
That is the end of the forecast presentation.
Okay. Thank you for putting that together, and it's taking some time, and we appreciate you.
There's more slides, but I didn't want to, I cut a lot out. But it's really good information, but for a board presentation, I want to be able to show the public what the situation is, what's causing it. We have a lot of unknowns right now, a lot of things changing against us that we're unable to control, because these House bills. But also we had historically high taxes for property owners, and so the state's trying to rectify that. And so we're just caught in kind of the crossfires here. Hopefully legislation will fix things moving forward and will help change this forecast. But until then, we'll have to make the changes here locally until we can provide that time.
Well, you've been very conservative on it. We appreciate it. Some things I take a lot of time looking at the forecast, and I think about things that we've done in the past. And I can tell you, I sat through 2020 with my kids, 2021, 2022, and 2023, and we talked about ESSER dollars. And we had kids not in school anymore, and we had our younger kids really vulnerable for a long time. They were not getting the education that they should have been getting. So we made a conscious effort to add quite a few people and to really strengthen our bench to make sure those kids weren't left behind. As you can see, a 4.5 star education, rising academics, and those kids are all on par with proficiencies, unlike most other districts. They're doing well. However, where we looked out for kids, now we're kind of being caught on a little bit. So we're going to have to really think as a board how to keep education number one, like we always have, being the number one district in the county, but also taking a look at how we can level things out now that we've really taken a hard, fast approach on those COVID kids and those younger kids that were very vulnerable. So proud of this district. I know that forecast didn't look the greatest. Never want to compare ourselves to anybody else, but we are the best educating district in the county, one of the best in the state. We just got to tighten some things up a little bit. We'll continue to do great.
And I love that this board is so proactive on looking at this, because in February this changed. It's not what was, what we were seeing before, but a lot changed, right? Outside environments changed. We got an entry of the cash flows and things changed that we just had not, weren't prepared for. And now we've spent some time discussing it, and we know we have a lot more work to do, but I'm excited that the board is eager to dive into this and tackle these challenges. If you wait too long, it's compounding. And so if you fix things now and next year, you can slow things down pretty quickly. If you wait right up until it's time to make cuts, you can't make enough cuts to fix it, so.
Which is one thing that we did talk about at the finance meeting for retreat ideas, that we could come up with some more creative ideas for revenue, and then also some different things, you know, what it might look like from an expense standpoint. So you guys could be thinking about that as well on your end, so that we can come back together too.
Yep.
And then figuring out time for a for retreat.
That's
Sooner rather than
important.
later.
I got that in
Goal
my-
sooner than later.
I got that in the discussion items.
Sounds like leading some shared services or something like that.
And this district does do shared services already. With our EMIS, we do work with Felicity and shared services. We've sold services, we've purchased a lot of shared services to keep our costs down.
Our food service is a big
Food
shared service.
Right? We do a lot of, we help with busing a lot for other programs. Actually, in the year I had a $15,000 invoice, I think it was one of maybe a couple that we did. So we do offset some of our costs. It's not enough to fill the hole in the forecast, but all those things do add up.
That's the importance of like a retreat setting, just to focus on that. You know, we've seen the forecast, now we can really dive into the specifics of our revenue and expenditures current and where we think we should go in the next 12 to 18 months or so.
And talk about levy as well, the levy conversation.
All things on the table.
Okay.
That completes the treasurer's report.
Well, thank you, Alan. Appreciate it. All right, move on to
Before
item.
we move on, we can move on and just wait a few more minutes, or we could ask a question now. Ms. Kissinger, do you have any questions for the treasurer over the forecast?
No, I'm good, thanks.
All right, we'll move on to item 8. I need a motion to approve the financial statement and board minutes. I'll go ahead and wrap A and B. So do I have a motion? Mr. Clifton, do I have a second? Mrs. Cribbett, any discussion? Seeing none, roll call?
Mr. Cummins?
Yes.
Mr. Clifton?
Yes.
Mr. Cribbett?
Yes.
Mr. Lindsey?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Okay, we'll move on to public participation. Ms. Kissinger, what do you think this evening?
Just want to make sure everybody knows we're having our annual mom sale. It started last weekend, it runs this weekend. And then we'll get a new shipment in and we'll go 2 more weeks after that. So we should end the week before the yard sales. So if anybody's interested, they look really good this year. And our prices are still a lot cheaper than most, like Lowe's and places like that. Scarecrows are coming up. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about when I say the scarecrows. September 16th at the park in conjunction with the farmer's market. And by the way, the grant gentleman, Perry, he's coming to our October meeting to talk about the levy. And then with the Christmas walk, which is the 4th and 5th of December, the walk's Friday night, dog parade Saturday. We're basically, as far as I know, we're doing everything pretty much the same as last year. And I don't know if you guys, I don't know if I told you this or not, but Kevin picks the tree lighter through the school. And so we're gonna do that again. He's gonna pick the tree lighter, so.
Good.
All right, I think that's all I got. Thanks.
Thank you, Sherry.
Okay, we'll move on to discussion items. We'll jump right into committee report, finance, anything else from you? Good, okay. Good, we're good, all right. Clean that. So we can jump into facilities. Josh, you want to go ahead with whatever you have?
Lots and lots of meetings. Just maybe, hopefully, put a calendar there to rattle all these off. There's so many of them, I couldn't keep track. From my perspective, bottom line, the gym renovation with Prodigy is going really well. We've got some tentative finish dates that look and sound pretty good. The elementary school project is moving along great. I think it has something worthy of stating when the guy from OFCC, Paul, from my knowledge, the last 2 or 3 meetings really hasn't had much to say in regards to things that he wants changed and how things are operating. So I think that speaks volumes. This guy does this for a living, and he's been pretty silent. So really happy with the progress. I know that Mr. Early posted a Wildcat Walk, I think at the end of last week, kind of showed and showcased off a lot of the progress that's going on, and just looking great from my perspective.
Yeah, we meet every Thursday, so we've got a lot of meetings on every Thursday on the calendar that are reoccurring, and they will be until the elementary school is done. And that's where the vast majority of the facilities meetings take place. We did have a facilities meeting this past Friday, I do believe, on 21st. Yeah.
Right.
And we talked about, like, so the board knows, we have to have a decision made. We talked about this a few times on the elementary school, the old elementary school that will be vacating in September of next year. So we're still working through that. We've asked Prodigy, who is doing our gym, to give us some quotes as well. We've got Fanning and Howie going to come back with quotes, and then we're reaching out to some local people for some different quotes on things that need to be done. Mainly, it's just talking about putting a roof on the building, drying it in for the first time in a long time, and just making sure the building is fully functional and operational, so it can be used in the future, in future growth. Those are the numbers we're looking for. We'll have, depending on how, I don't know when they're going to come back with theirs, but we'll have a full list of them at some point in the future. But we have until February to make that decision. And I was reading something the other day, Matt, and check me on this, but if we decide we're not going to use the building, don't we have to offer it for sale first, before demolition, by law?
No, it's no CC project.
You don't?
No.
Okay.
If we're just private sale, then yes, there are some provisions if we're just vacating the building.
Yeah.
But because it's part of OFCC school project,
Okay.
yes.
All right. I was trying to find that because I remember with the old high school, we had these conversations.
There are very stringent laws and districts are just shedding property
Yeah.
and may have excess property, excess buildings, and they're looking to downsize.
Okay.
But
So
because this is
OFCC
part of a large master plan through OFCC.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure I was reading something on that because I remember with the old high school, we were.
No, you're right, you read that,
Potentially gonna have
you read stuff. Yeah, the old high school, if we hadn't engaged OFCC and chosen that site, we
Yeah.
would have had that,
Offered for sale.
yeah, we would have had that laws to follow.
And then we did some tours of the new elementary school. Did you ladies get the tour? Not yet? No? Talking about flooring, talking about the stairs, talking about the outside sign, really coming to an idea of, for a sign example, do we want, 10 millimeter graphics, do we want 8 millimeter graphics, do we want 6 millimeter graphics? I don't know what the difference is, so we're looking into that. As a group, we have to make that decision. Flooring, do we want the standard, vinyl plank flooring, or do we want, sealed concrete, or do we want what we have out here in the cafeteria? So we're looking at things like that, and then just a lot of little things right now. And I know our student life group are working on the interior colors and will be for the probably next foreseeable future, just like that on that one. So just a lot of things going on, but we meet every Thursday and primarily talk about the elementary school. Oh, and the gym will be done September 15th. So September 15th.
As long as the lockers get procured.
Yeah,
That
as long
is-
as everything comes
That is
in.
their goal. It sounds like the bleachers will be in by then. The court divider went in today, operable,
Yeah,
in there. All the hoops are up, TV's up. It's starting to look very nice.
yeah. So perfect timing on that.
And then on the elementary, yeah, in addition to that hard hat video, it was nice. We had about half the elementary staff that was voluntary on opening day, get to walk through that building. So we did guided tours. Monarch worked with Kevin and I on that, so we took small groups around. And that was good, a lot of excitement. The teachers that did sign up for that continue to be on schedule for that. And when you talk about Paul, somebody that's been around for a lot of years, not having any comments, it's just great alignment between the owners, who's State and us, the architects, and Monarch, the builder. The only thing we're working through now in terms of issues, which will not affect the timeline, is drywall has to be removed from the cafeteria. That did not meet the state design manual, so all cafeterias have to remain blocked. So we're in the process of just removing the drywall. It should be a deduct savings at the end of the day, but there's a couple of utility runs that need to be shifted as a part of that.
What was the feedback from the staff on the tours?
Awesome. When can we do it again? Just, I mean, it's to take it from what you see visually, and sometime, whether that be now or I've got this 6-minute video that the architect shared with us, I'd like to do it in public session sometime tonight and show it.
Yeah, the wonderful facilities.
I didn't know if you wanted to wait until every committee was done or if you read it now.
Yeah, we're facilities good.
Can I ask a couple questions?
Sure.
The gym renovations, those are on budget, and we're good there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And
We have
then,
asked for some additional quoting on things, but it's not part of this. Things we saw that we should have upgraded. We've asked for additional quotes from this company. We haven't gotten yet, but it's not part of
But
this.
the current project is staying within the donation budget as it has to.
and those quotes, you would go out to try to secure additional?
Not our fund, it won't be our fund, yeah. So like ceiling tiles are not in good shape, like things like that. There's no air conditioning in the locker rooms. I don't know if anybody do that, but there's zero.
That's future additional projects that would have to be
Things
board
we dropped,
approved.
right? They pointed out to us, we're like, oh, we didn't even know this. So we'll have an idea on our capital outlay of kind of what those prices are, and then we'll go from there.
But nothing that we would stop opening on September 15th?
Oh,
It would just be a.
These are just additional add-ons that we look for additional sources to help.
No, the only thing that would prevent us from opening on September 15th would be bleacher snafu for the gym, or a metal locker snafu for the locker rooms. And even if it's just a metal lockers, we'll still open the gym. And then after conversing with a member of the Abrams Foundation and we are looking at either December 4th, but now knowing that's the Christmas walk, or the 11th for a full ribbon cutting of the entire WAC complex, the entire Wildcat Athletics Center. Looking at either Friday night, which are home basketball games for the boys, or just a ceremonious involve the Abrams Foundation.
You said December 11th?
4th or 11th, home boys basketball games.
And then the elementary project, as far as our contingency budget, everything from a budgetary standpoint, that was good too?
Yes.
Yes. Knock on wood, it's getting really quiet now on that.
Yeah, I mean, and they told us that, but after the soil and ground change orders, everything else is pretty, but then any change orders that aren't tied to soil or actual mechanical conditions, our committees, that will continue to be run through the board.
Matt, do you think it'd be possible to ask Mr. James Skianska to come to one of our board meetings to just kind of give a high-level overview of where things stand with the elementary budget?
Yeah, I think that'd be great after our next board meeting, second Thursday of October. We'll see where those numbers stand. We can talk to him. That's his next time on site. And if that's a wish of the entire board, he absolutely can. I mean, he's definitely a great communicator of all that.
Yeah.
Wonderful with the numbers. So this is a video that Emily at Fanning Howie Architect, we pressed them to be ready for elementary opening night, to be able to have this ready. And I'm just going to play it at 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes. And it is a wonderful upgrade to the 12 slides that we took on our road show a few months ago. If you want me to stop it, let me know. This is Broadway in Maine. And I'll say it now, the stairs right there would be a change order that we are having them look at, but as of now, it's just a hillside. This is the brick, what we've selected, the white windows, which we've selected, the top molding. The plants, the arbor plant may change a little bit, the botanicals around there. Where the doors are at each end are the stairwells that access floor 1, 2, and 3. Across the front of the building, there are 5 pre-K and K classrooms. We go back to this view because it's better, and then I'll pick up where we left off. But just for perspective, 5 pre-K and K classrooms here. The 6th one is where my cursor is. There are 4 classrooms, 1st and 2nd grade, across the front, in addition to the large STEM lab. And then there's a 1st or 2nd grade room here, and then a 1st or 2nd grade room on the other. Across the 3rd floor, there are 7 classrooms, 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade, with the 8th and the 9th being on either end. So that's kind of perspective of how the 3 classes per grade level work. They've got the majority of the 1st floor blocked up, including the entrance pillars that you'll see in this view. But this will be the main entrance of the elementary school for all bus riders, entry and exit, and then any early dismissals, late arrivals, doctor appointments, staff. It's closest to the parking lot, because where you see this W on the wall is the main office, administrative assistant, Jenny Chriswise. That's where he's sitting.
As Sunny Oasis to our policy. That's our font on the front of this thing. Those letters right there.
You get a better view of the elementary. When you come in, you'll again be in a secure vestibule, buzzed in, come in the office to sign in. It was quick, but here's a couple of historical components I'll go ahead and highlight on this view right here. These are the boys and girls entrance. Concrete that'll be over the boys and girls bathroom, which will be the most crowded and used bathrooms because of the 1st floor, so it'll be athletics, activities, lunchroom, etc. This auditorium and gym came from the signs above the old high school auditorium and gym, and then this wood that wraps the stage is all wood that we were able to reclaim from the old high school that was wood floor from the 2nd and 3rd floors. As you know, a lot of those classrooms have wood floors on the 2nd and 3rd floor. That's what this wood will be, as well as a landing in front of the stairs. As you notice, there's a stage facing the cafeteria. We'll just show you, it will face the gym. Seating area for cafeteria, that's all included in those tables. As you can see, the cars, this is where all the car riders will come into and out of the building. It's on that south side of the cafeteria. That's where they'll enter and exit the building. All the car riders, it's 3 lanes that come in off Broadway, exit on Spring. If you want to see the concrete apron where it meets Spring, it's been poured now for about a week. If you go down Spring Street, and Spring Street will be widened to meet those aprons. Beautiful view right there coming in from that entrance, and that'll also be the weekend athletics and activities entrance using the gym. But as you can see, you can look all the way through the cafeteria, up the learning steps, and up to the art and STEM rooms. So much beautiful daylighting through this area. Walking into the gym, this gym is identical to the Wildcat Athletic Center gym. The wood surface of it, 6 baskets, bleachers on one side. This is the only thing that's not to scale. No, they're not 4 volleyball courts that are able to be, I think, volleyball nets just stretched on our imaging. Same logos, graphics, wall mats. And as you can see, the stage comes all the way through. So when you have larger performances, larger groups, the stage will be used on the gym facing side.
Matt, do you know what they're trying to show there with the red box in front of that stage?
Now I'm asking you more. I don't know if that's like a storage box or a scores table or what it is.
Yeah, I'm guessing scores too, so you don't put the electric on that side. So all the columns on that side, so that's probably what they're trying to show.
A reminder, the stage is also the music room, so that's what that ramp is, up to the room for all the kids. The garage doors right here are the line, the kitchen line, food service line, all this behind here, which is one of the first areas to get blocked is the kitchen. This hallway will be the access hallway for kindergartners and preschoolers to get to their classrooms, some intervention spaces. Everybody else will just come up these steps to access the second and third floor. Learning stairs are gorgeous for a multitude of uses. This top area for so many learning uses is a great space. You see the hallways going either way for first and second graders. They actually take us in the art room here momentarily. Display cases. Keep in mind, none of the paint or floor selection has been done yet. Those are still to come, so colors may change, floor colors may change, furniture may change a little bit, but gives you the idea of just the large square footage, which don't have now. It's also going to walk us. This is a wonderful view. Right there, coming into the STEM room, overlooking Main Street. This is second floor center, Main Street. This is where I want to have the first board meeting after the building is usable in here. Set up tables, overlook Main Street in the center. Not that we'll move there permanently, but definitely want to have one there next year. The elevators, this first opening on the left, right there, and then they're just going to show you a couple sample classrooms. All 1 through 5 classrooms will be identical. Like I said, don't pay attention to the floor, the colors, the size, layout, etc. Every room has a sink and drinking fountain, which just allows kids to stay in the room more. Another example of the classroom. So at our normal Thursday meeting tomorrow, I'm going to have her tweak a couple things, and then we'll get this up on our website and push it out. Just as part of our Paul Prince of, what is it, Paul Prince of progress?
Progress.
Yeah, easy for me to say.
Uh-huh.
Push this out, so it's just kind of a sneak peek. Yeah, it's into the stairwell right there, one of the 2 end stairwells. That's that.
Beautiful. Charlie, tell them a good job.
So So Matt, you said the stairs here and that landscaping, that's not there really?
It's an alternate, and,
It's an alternate
We're having-
change order that we're working through pricing as of now.
But the fencing will be there.
Fencing will be there. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
fencing over
So if you don't add that in, there's no opening, it's just a closed.
There's an opening with the original brick pillars, front Main Street where my cursor is,
Right, right,
right there. And
but
then
the corner
down-
one,
And then down Broadway,
okay,
where we'll have a gate.
okay.
which is further down, so it's probably another 60 feet further.
Yeah, it's past my cursor down here.
Yeah.
And then the other one would be over on Fifth Street.
But what I'm seeing there, how it's staggered down with, none of that's in the
No.
budget.
In the base budget.
We value engineered that out, and we were trying to get to a bid. It was always an alternate option. Now that we're back into the final design, we're having to tweak it for us a little bit, and you can see what those final prices will be.
Because like I said, when I release this to the public, we're gonna asterisk, this is not the final,
Right.
Things will and may change, but it's a great view. As I said, for some of the paint colors, I tried to call out anything that may not look exactly like it is. The playground location's accurate.
Is that something you could do later if you don't have enough money now? Could you do that later?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's a danger right now. I don't know if you've ever watched Travis Pope that thing. It's dangerous. Like how they know it is, I've watched it, and it's not a safe
Yeah.
place to be.
Yeah.
But it was there the whole time we were in school.
Correct.
Rolled down the thing, fell down the thing,
Correct.
everything else. So, but the only difference is right there where there's.
Yeah, we had that stairwell
There were
right
steps
here.
there, if you remember,
Correct.
for us, right? So you could get off of Broadway and Main pretty quickly up the steps.
Right.
Now, the opportunity's not gonna be that we have those steps taken out, so they're gone. So you're gonna have her tweak it a little bit, and then we're gonna put it out on our website?
Yeah, just like the volleyball stuff, that red box, a couple things in the hallway.
Good, all right, thank you. Okay, anything else for facilities? Seeing none, okay, we'll move on to IT communications.
I met yesterday. I'll cover it if there's anything I missed, let me know. We need some teacher laptops. Ours are old, about 7 going on 8 years, so.
We just talked about some forecasted budget items to start out.
Amy has a plan for that, looking at maybe 30 to 40 laptops for teachers. Next year, regular Chromebook cycle, 150 Chromebooks are going to be needed. Our repair process on our Chromebooks is going well. We're in the positive as far as people buying to repair,
The insurance
the
policy.
insurance policy, yeah. And so we're positive about 7,000 to 10,000 on that. So that plan is working well. As a board, we discussed that we need to give Alan some objectives for the Finance Friday. So whether it be ideas, time frame, things like that, where we can start to push things out. Basically, give them some marching orders on that, so to speak. We've had 2 students step up to help with the social media team, and that's been going well. We talked about having more engagement prior to the moment of excellences that we have here, so that basically the moment of excellence is the final thing, and it's already been pushed out to the community of a lot of the great things that our students are doing, and not just at the board meeting where it's recapped.
Primarily the website, just like moving a lot of the social media stuff, making sure it's getting masked on the website. Some more regular video, not just Alan, but other people too, just doing more video, because that's how people are getting most of their information, little quote reels.
We talked about some ideas for those Finance Fridays and some other social media ideas. And then Amy noted that our cybersecurity threats had increased. We
Phishing.
were at about quite a bit, so it's phishing, things like that. We were at about 1 a month, and now we're at about 2 a week. So it's a continuing problem.
Not just us.
We talked a little bit about a couple things. One main thing with the elementary school, which is the projectors, and Amy's looking into that. Sort of what the plan is. There was supposed to be there's a projector in the cafeteria, but there was supposed to be a screen also at the gym, whether that's still in there, if not value engineered out, and then how they were going to do it, so, we have to get some clarity on that.
Did you ever hear back from her? Is she gonna be able to come to our next meeting?
Yes, she asked if she wanted us, if we wanted her in person or online, so you just let me know how you
Just need
want.
her, giving her input.
That was what I thought, so, yeah, she said she'd be there.
This is one of the Fanning Howard reps to give us all these answers.
Yeah, I sat in a meeting last spring where there was supposed to be 2 projectors on the stage, one shooting towards, one projector on stage. I guess the way they're doing it now is there's one on the cafeteria wall shooting back toward the stage. There's really not an answer yet on the gym, but what was supposed to happen in the gym that we had decided on was there would be a projector mounted on the stage in the top of the ceiling of that classroom, and they were going to use rear projection to hit a screen that drops down, so that we didn't have the projector out there in the gym where we didn't hit balls and things. What was currently on the map was just mounted on the stage wall, which makes no sense, because then you would have to shoot it towards the stages where everybody's sitting, so, that's something we talked about, so, but that's what I have. Melanie?
I'm not, they've had pretty full conversation. Talked a little bit about huddle going well so far. That's it.
I have questions about Huddle. So do we make money off of the Huddle subscription?
Let me come back to you on that.
Okay, thanks.
Because we also are encouraging advertising on there.
Okay.
We didn't used to. What was the one we had prior to that?
And FHS.
NFHS, we got it for free. We put everything up. for
The
free.
equipment was, and I gotta see what this contract.
$50 or whatever it was, $59.99 a year, so our season, and they made their money back by doing that, and they gave us the service for free. So that's how it used to be.
Huddle's just much more comprehensive because the coaches also subscribe to it. You can like pick out plays, players, downs.
And
So
that
I
was
don't know if we get a discount on that. That's why I don't want to answer that. Like,
Yeah, I'd like to
subscriptions
know
offset that.
what the cost was last year compared to what we're paying for all of that this year.
We made no money off NFHS.
That's
That
right.
was just the equipment.
Yeah, and then I guess I would just wanna know that difference from last year to this year, and then, yeah, I just know too that the Huddle, you know, you're buying, like if you're someone that is watching it, you're buying the subscription to watch it, that only includes your games from Williamsburg. So if you wanna watch an away game, you have to buy the subscription or that game for that school.
That's a
So-
change. It didn't used to be like that.
Yeah, so unless that is, you know, that is what it looked like to me when I went in to go do it all. I could not access an away game or anything like that.
But NFHS, we used to be able to watch anyone's game. Like if you were a member, you could go watch seniors play
Nationwide.
whatever, you could go watch whatever you want to watch, so.
Any Huddle questions like that, that if you're getting those from anybody, just kind of get them in an email and I'll get
Yeah.
questions answered.
Perfect, okay.
I know we always made our coaches pay for that additional service from Huddle to do all their stats and do all their viewing, so.
Right.
I hope that's.
They're still doing it.
Yeah, it's expensive, it's very expensive, so. IT committee, I did send you guys an email from our student achievement, we were talking like, and this is where it came from, I was at our grant meeting, and they were talking about youth science, and I tried to get on our website real quick to find Wildcat Hub and find, and I couldn't get to it. It took me, matter of fact, I probably still couldn't find it. So is there a way to highlight academics on our homepage rather than athletics?
We talked about that email a little bit in the meeting and Amy's
Did you send
got
it
it.
to me?
I can only send it to one, so I sent it to Brandon, and I asked him to forward to you, so, yeah. If we could fit it in there, I know we've got menus, schools, athletics, translate, and I heard translate has to be there, so is there a way to get academics in there? And really on the main screen, we've got our app, then it scrolls over to the football field, then it scrolls over to our staff. I love the app, we're trying to get more people on the app and engaging, right, I got that, but is there a way that the second slide over, instead of being the football field, being our education ratings, like top 15 in the state, top 20 in the country, #1 in the county, things like that, and really highlighting our education rather than the football field or things like that, 'cause
Right, we talked, I mean, the kind of intro with that was making sure those clicks were going the right direction. I think Amy was on the number before.
Yeah, the athletics, so we wanted athletics to be there just so it's accessible. It's actually listed as a school right now, but instead of it being a different school, we put it as a tab because I don't want it to look like it is a school, although it is still listed under school. But that Wildcat Hub, if you hit menu, it's there underneath of students and families. It's called Wildcat Launchpad.
Yeah.
It's there, but I think we talked about making it one of those buttons as well, like in that bar underneath the picture. Pulling one of those off, putting that there instead.
I remember the one thing that I struggled with most as a parent when my kids were here is understanding what their trajectory was. Like, how did I get them from, the yellow piece of paper that had the graduation requirements on it, you had to come in and look at. Now we've got so many things it tells you from K-3 all the way through middle school and high school, different things, career path is virtual middle, all the things, school, career clusters, everything that we have that Morgan has worked very hard on. I want parents to be able to get to it quickly, right, and be able to see it and kind of navigate through it. So I don't expect this to be done overnight, but I feel like we've got a lot of great things that most districts don't have, hence being UC's first public school. I'd like to broadcast that from the student achievement perspective.
Okay.
Good segue to student achievement.
Student achievement. Student achievement. So on student achievement, we talked about, Matt brought it up, and if all the years that I was growing up in this town and starting to raise kids here, everybody said Williamsburg's going to grow, Williamsburg's going to grow, Williamsburg's going to grow, we'll never grow, right? We always hovered around 75 kids were graduating every year. Class of 1991 had more than most classes graduated today. That's going to change. We have 500 kids per building now, and it's pushing at the limits in the elementary school. High school, you really can't recognize it as much, but we now have over 72 kids in every grade in the elementary school. That is our board policy, over that number, and the only grade that's not, it's third grade, it's getting close, right? So we're getting bigger slowly. It's nice that it's coming slowly, but as a board, we got to be prepared for that. Matt had a great question about property taxes. Are we seeing those dollars and student foundation, things like that? So we need to monitor that because I know it is going to put strain on our teachers. The reason we have those policies is because we want to continue to excel in academics. We have 28 kids. I asked this question because I know we had an in-depth conversation about kindergarten. We got 28 kids in 3 classes. It's 84. It's a lot. Right. So I know we got about 20 aides in the district. I don't know how Kevin's going to repurpose those aides to assist in kindergarten foundational reading, things like that, but hopefully we're looking at that because that's probably the largest class.
Well, Friday is when we're full house kindergarten, so
Friday.
there is a lot of moving pieces, really in both buildings, because yes, kindergarten and the primary grades is obviously good for that baseline learning, but there are a couple classes here that are pretty high, but there's also some aides being looked at. So it's like we do every start to the year, first 10 to 20 days, the balance.
Okay.
Because we still got some enrollees and withdrawals too. Withdrawals, not awards, withdrawals.
I think Kevin talked about it in that one, universal literacy block, having 2 adults in the rooms until literacy is over. He even stressed that 28 kids is a really big change for our staff. It's the largest ever. So Kevin's already thinking about how to do that, right? So is it a tie? Is it a tie? Right.
In my opinion.
We also talked about how interestingly parents are trying to get into our district. May not live here, but maybe telling us they do live here and sliding their kids into our district, so more on that. But on the positive side, that means they really want to be here. Right? That means we're doing great things. So I trust in Matt and Kevin and Jason, their staff, to make sure that the kids that say they live here, and we're supposed to be in our building. Our fall third grade reading numbers hit the highest number ever, 91%. So we look at our forecast, we talk about COVID, we think about 2026, those kids are in 4th and 5th grade now, those kids are affected in 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, and we are the highest, again, school in the county. Nobody even close to us. And it's firmly because of the spending we put towards COVID and how we operated this district. We did not let kids fall backwards where other districts made excuses. We didn't make excuses. Now, some positives to that, 91%. Kevin was really worried about some kids not hitting the number, but they all hit it, and we are excelling at K-3 literacy in the elementary school. So it's a wonderful thing to hear. We were at 84, and we just crest 91 for the first time. We're beating schools that have a $70 million budget. we're beating schools that have a $70 million budget in Williamsburg, so.
More on that at the September meeting, when
Yeah,
full house is released.
Matt didn't want me to talk, he's trying to talk. And my next line is, knock on wood, but 4.5 could be in our stars again, but I'm hearing some noises from our two principals that we might be broaching another number, and that would put us, top 10% in the state, right? 8% in the state, top 12% in the country, and doing it less with more. I think I heard you say that earlier. We're doing less with more. We're doing more with less. I'm sorry. Our teaching staff is incredible, and how we are effectively getting things done, because this changes lives on what we're doing. So congratulations to them. We're going to need additional curriculum items due to class sizes. So more purchase services coming our way. So be ready for that. Ready for that, Alan. We got more kids. We need more textbooks. We need more things. Kevin said that typically when you order textbooks, you can't order one at a time. You have to order blocks. So we may have additional extras. We'll see. From a middle high, Jason was pretty confident. Looks like we may have either an equal to or bigger number of years this year coming out of high school. It's fun to listen to Jason and Kevin banter back and forth on how successful they are at educating students with their staff. That's coming very soon. Talk about the IT thing. How do we tell our story? Like the story I just told, how do we tell that story, right? How do we tell the people of this community that there's nobody else even close to us? Per pupil spend less than 20, we're the bottom 20%, and education we're the top 10%, right? That's, from a return on investment perspective, that is incredible, and it's all for our kids. We talked about, I don't know why we talked about this, but it's probably while I was looking at the website. We talked about the facility rental piece. That's falling back to facilities. We'll talk about that later time. But that was our student achievement, and we didn't really talk about a lot of VM stuff because they just started. We just talked about how we were doing as a district and what they're giddy about to tell us here, hopefully in about 2 or 3 weeks. So I can't wait for that. Any questions for student achievement?
I would just make one comment. Going back to COVID, it wasn't even, part of it obviously was we spent money in certain areas, but I would also say Matt's leadership in keeping us in school during that time. When a lot of schools, they weren't in school, and we stayed in school, so kudos to Matt for that.
Thank you. And a great
Seeing
team.
those results.
And a great team that we're all on the same ship.
Yeah.
Okay, student life.
I guess I have one comment. Once, with us looking at, and I think you kind of said this too, looking at the budget in the future, what that looks like, and what, ideas we might have from an expense standpoint, please know, and I just want to reiterate, that 91%, from a reading won't happen if, there's a direct correlation to the expenses into that, right? And, you have, positions.
And VM and apprenticeships and our
Yeah.
guarantees and people want to be here, and the list could go on.
Yeah.
But that is a well-timed point.
Yes, I just think that it's just a,
K-3 literacy is the foundation of your education, period, and short. If you can't read and you can't comprehend, you're not going to be doing anything else. I mean, I was probably that student when I was in that age. So we will have to have some difficult conversations, but we all are grounded on who we are. And I think we're all lock and step on that. We're just going to have to take a deep look at it and tighten our belts a little bit. So.
can I ask another question about the aids? So when you are doing and you're looking at the aids, do you look at the aids across the 2 different schools? Or do you just Kevin looks at all of his aids and then Jason looks at all of his aids?
Both. I mean, it's a K-12 global view to start.
Okay.
And you've got to look at the services that are on the IEPs, because some of them are one-on-one, some of them are 8 services where you can combine and convenient schedule certain students with certain intervention specialists. And then we go down to the buildings and where they're best fit. But we have at least one a year that bounce back and forth.
Okay, I just didn't know how that worked. Thanks.
Global is
Great
specific.
question. All right, student life.
We watched the video we just watched, talked a little bit about making homecoming for football more of an event for the alumni.
Specifically like the anniversary years.
Right.
Reunions.
This
Week from tomorrow, or week from Friday.
And then.
Who's running that?
Who's first one?
Athletics,
Athletics?
Yeah.
Or Williams?
athletics in general.
Brian Cunningham said he was interested in taking a look at that at some point. but-
He absolutely is, so that we build that class.
There are a couple, one big fundraiser coming up in the fall, for the boosters. And it's a Hall of Fame induction year, so we're confident.
Athletic.
Have you guys explored adding a student to that student life committee like we discussed?
We did not talk about it because I remembered it when I was in the parking lot. So, next time.
Figure now we're back in school, would be a good time to
Yeah.
fix one.
Yeah, that's on my list, actually.
Yeah, I forgot about that too. Well, that's truly easier done than said, so we'll be able to do that.
Okay.
The other thing, like we talked about in tech with some consultants for the new elementary joining our meetings, we're also, our next meeting will have some consultants with us in student life from during text. That's it.
Getting feedback on the video. Let's talk about retreat during our discussion items. So Alan is going to have some things to us by September 4th that we need to have from the levy discussion. Matt is working with his team to have the same things done by that date. And so sometime after that, we need to take a look at putting a retreat on the calendar, location TBD. Still got to look into that. We want to keep a location in the community. Years past, other boards have done it outside the community. I'm not a fan of that.
It could be a meeting room, it could be a restaurant, it could be here,
Mhm.
and we could get food here. That's a board decision, time, date, location, weekday, weeknight, weekend, etc.
So I'm out of the area until the 10th. So the only time I would have available that next week would be the 10th, and then we would have to look at the week after that. So
We're looking at September.
September, yeah. So the week of the 14th.
In all actuality, you'd like to have this by the next board meeting, right, which is September 28th.
Yeah, so the 14th, week of the 14th, does anybody have any no-go dates? Let's go with that.
Jordan is out of town that week, so, pending childcare.
Pending job. I'm out the 15th. 15th is no-go for me.
16th is a no-go for me.
17th
Yeah,
is
on that
no-go for
evening.
us. And Sam. All right, let's go to the next week. Let's just move on to the next week.
Saturday mornings are an option too.
I can do 10. I can do 10th. Everybody do 10th? 10th of September, Thursday. So we've got our facilities meetings. We've got a lot of those that day, but in the evening, does anybody have anything on the 10th of September?
Yes, I would be limited until about, I could go until about 6 o'clock. I actually have a family visitation that night.
Until or after?
It's 4 to 7 in Centerville. So I can either go or come back.
That's out.
It's just visitation.
We need you there. So let's look at the week of the 21st.
That week I will be out Wednesday and Thursday.
22nd looks like.
22nd or 21st?
I can do 21st.
22nd.
That's a board meeting for you.
What time on the 22nd?
I'll give you, we do 6:37, whatever you want. We can do later, obviously, it doesn't matter.
Does youth sports for you guys take Saturdays out? Like Saturday mornings?
Oh, man, if I don't have to go to a soccer game, I don't mind. No, just kidding. This is not video.
We could have it at 160.
I love my kids. I love watching soccer. Saturday morning. No, I can do Saturday mornings too. No, on the 22nd, I'm good after, as long as it's after noon.
Yeah, the evening, so.
Good.
Go 22nd?
Yeah.
Go to 22nd, go to 22nd, Matt, go to 22nd, Al, go to 22nd. Okay, let's hone it in. What time, 6:30? Dinner time? 7, 6? Okay, time.
I say start as early as people can get there.
I would agree, because these things tend to run a little long.
They will run long, so make plans to bring a snack.
So is that 5, 5:30?
Well, it depends, she's coming from downtown.
I'm good. I can go. I can be.
5 o'clock? o'clock. Josh, can you do 5?
Yes.
I know you do 5. Might be golfing, might be golfing.
Good. That takes one.
I'm preparing to invite right now.
Okay, 22nd, 5 o'clock, to be determined on location. Do you have any
What's the
ideas?
to be determined? Do you want to look at somewhere not here? Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
Mhm. Yeah, including anywhere, I just don't want to, let's look around a little bit. If you guys have any ideas? Wait. All right, perfect. All right, any other discussion items? Seeing none. Move on to major items of business. So a motion for 11A, the recommendation to approve transfers as listed in the motion. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second? Sam Kirk, Melanie Schaus. All right, discussion. Okay, seeing none, roll call?
Mr. Cummings?
Yes.
Mr. Clifton?
Yes.
Mrs. Griffin? Mr. Lindsey?
Yes.
Mrs. Schaus?
Yes.
Okay, 11B, I need a motion for the recommendation to approve then and now the Claremont County ESC BCBA. Do I have a motion? I have a motion. Do I have a second? Mr. Clifton, second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call?
Mr. Cummings?
Yes.
Mr. Clifton?
Yes.
Mrs. Griffin?
Yes.
Mr. Lindsey?
Yes.
Mrs. Schaus?
Need a motion for the recommendations to approve donations in 11C. Do I have a motion? Sam Cribbett, do I have a second? Melanie Schaus. Look at the donations. OHSAA Athletic Department, $1,250. The Valley View Sports Media Guide Advertising, $200. Fisher Chiropractic Sports Media Guide Advertising, $50. And Wild Pop Shop Sports Media Guide Advertising, $50. So thank you to the donors. Greatly appreciate it. And it will go to good use within our district and our students. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Cummings?
Yes.
Mr. Clifton?
Yes.
Mrs. Griffin?
Yes.
Mr. Lindsey?
Abstain.
Mrs. Schaus?
Yes.
Okay, 11D, any recommendation? Let's talk about this one. Anybody interested in being the delegate? I can do it. Anybody else interested?
I'm the delegate for Grant,
I'm not, so.
so I don't know what that means.
Now we can give you an extra ribbon if you want.
You're too written.
I was just saying I will be there.
And I think that meeting's on the 16th, like midday on that Monday.
That's good.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I think that meeting-
11:15 through 17. Anybody else want to be a delegate? Okay, Sam, you want to do it, or you want me to do it?
Like I said, I'll be there already, so that's perfectly fine.
Okay, so you can be the delegate, okay. Who wants to be the second, the alternate delegate? I'll make it me, okay. I'll motion that Sam Cribbett appoint her as the delegate, and Jeff Cummins as the alternate delegate. Do I have a second? Mr. Clifton, any discussion?
Is anybody not planning on going to OSBA at all? I'll be sending you an email as we get closer to the hotel date. You said Grant has registered you both and given you hotels, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'll be sending an email probably later this week, just with, if you're gonna be there the whole time, et cetera, registration.
Roll call.
Mr. Cummings?
Yes.
Mr. Clifton?
Yes.
Mrs. Griffin? Mr. Lindsey?
Yes.
Mrs. Schaus?
Yes.
All right, 11E, a motion for the recommendation to approve bus stops and preliminary bus routes of our 8 bus routes for the 2026-2027 school year as mentioned in the motion. Do I have a motion? Brandon Lindsay, do I have a second? Sam Cribbett, any discussion on the bus routes that were in your packet?
One typo, appreciate Melanie reading the bus routes better than me. Page 2 of 2, midway down, we do not have a 13-hour and 54-minute bus route. We have a 1 hour and 54-minute bus route. So,
I didn't look at this, I just thought, look at that. went through these things.
So delete the 3 on that motion, please.
Long way to grant.
All right, roll call.
Mr. Cummins?
Yes.
Mr. Clifton?
Yes.
Mr. Pruitt? Mr. Lindsey?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson?
11F, need a motion for a recommendation to accept a contract with Bachman's in Williamsburg Local School District. Do I have a motion? I will motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Lindsay, second. Any discussion? I did ask Randy if we've got other bids on this, and he said that we have got multiple bids from bigger companies like Bachman's numerous times in the past, and they're always significantly higher than Bachman's. So just checking all of our expenses, and I would challenge everybody that if you're bidding anything, bid it and make sure we're getting the best price.
When we come to the board, yes, absolutely. And I can tell you, I pulled a few of the old board motions for these. I'm going back to May of 19. This was a $46,100 contract. So as Bachman's continues to really, and they've been with us for over a decade, knows our equipment, knows the inventory, make sure everything's the most technologically advanced. They have reduced their cost to what they see, which is not the same, not the case for a lot of companies. So it's, I don't want to say easier, but it's more efficient for them to do PM, and they pass those costs on to us, and that's something even in a financial statement or a financial challenging times as we have now. This is something that I'm not going to sit here and recommend that we chop. Because those of us that have been around dating back, we've seen the other side of this. I believe there's only a couple of us.
All right. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Cummins?
Yes.
Mr. Clifton?
Yes.
Mr. Pruitt?
Yes.
Mr. Lindsey?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson?
Okay, 11G, I need a motion for the recommendation to approve the field trip. It's the World War II and Western Front field trip, departs July 6, 2028 by Mr. McKibben. Do I have a motion? And Lindsay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Clifton, any discussion?
And I'll add this due to an addendum. Dan just got this to me today. I said, can I wait till the next meeting? He said not, if we can pass along the best cost to all the families that want to go, because he was getting bids right until the last minute. This will be the second time that we use this vendor over a prior one that we used for passports. Obviously, they just went on this 2 months ago and it went very well. They're using that same company for July 28th,
It's 10 days or 14 days?
14.
We're still at 14 days.
5 countries.
Yeah.
So this costs us just for basically to cover Dan's time, or is that like a supplemental, or
No,
what does this cost, I guess, our school?
it costs the same.
That's right, I just wanted to.
I mean, we even backbill the bus to the airport. If we contract a bus, the families have to pay for that transportation. This is simply because it's an out-of-state, for policy, it's out of country, but we have to do this approved.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Cummins?
Yes.
Mr. Clifton?
Yes.
Mr. Pruitt?
Yes.
Mr. Lindsey?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson?
Yes.
Okay, 11H, any motion for the recommendation to approve field trip? It's the senior field trip that departs March 17th of 2027. Do I have a motion?
No motion.
Mr. Clifton, do I have a second? Sam Privet, any discussion on the senior field
This
trip?
is kind of a hybrid trip that Ms. Prescott, this is her first year senior class advisor. Our last senior trip is when the bus got turned around in Pennsylvania from COVID.
My son was on it.
And we have not been able to get the numbers because most of the tour companies require 45. And so Ms. Prescott's really trying to revive this via Croswell's and transportation, but us making more of the arrangements. Hence on the attachment, it's kind of broken out of what it costs the kids. It's the 3 days prior to spring break. So it may happen, may not, but we still need to approve it as it is going to happen. I'll keep you all informed.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Mr. Cummings?
Yes.
Mr. Clifton?
Yes.
Mr. Privet? Mr. Lindsey?
Yes.
Mrs. Jones?
Yes.
Okay, I need a motion for 11I, need a recommendation to approve the 5-year forecast, and its assumptions. Do I have a motion? Sam Privet, do I have a second? Second. Brandon Lindsay. Any more discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Mr. Cummings?
Yes.
Mr. Clifton?
Yes.
Mrs. Privet?
Yes.
Mr. Lindsey?
Yes.
Mrs. Jones?
Yes.
11J, any motion for the recommendation to approve annual commercial paper annual reporting, as mentioned in the motion for OR C 135.142. Do I have a motion? Sam Privet, I will second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Mr. Cummings?
Yep. Yes.
Mr. Clifton?
Yes.
Mr. Privet?
Yes.
Mr. Lindsey?
Yes.
Mrs. Jones?
Yes.
11K, need a motion for the recommendation to approve permanent appropriations. Do I have a motion? Sam Privet, I will second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Mr. Cummings?
Yes.
Mr. Clifton?
Yes.
Mr. Privet? Mr. Lindsey?
Yes.
Mrs. Jones?
Okay. I need a motion to move an executive session for Ohio Revised Code 121.22 for certain personnel matters to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or conversation of a public employer official.
5.
Matters to be kept confidential.
7.
And economic development. And 4, collective bargaining matters. Anything else with order that you need? Okay. I need a motion.
No motion.
Mr. Clifton,
Second.
second. Sam Privet. Roll call.
Mr. Cummings?
Yes.
Mr. Clifton?
Yes.
Mrs. Privet? Mr.
Yes.
Lindsey?
Yes.
Mrs. Jones?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Send my wife to get some lunch.
Not on yet?
It's coming.
Not on yet?
It's coming on. It's
What was wrong?
The camera disconnected completely once I'm from
I
turning
was
it
gonna
off.
plug it.
Because I panicked.
We were safe for executive session.
You were. All right, you are live now. You're live.
All right.
We're good?
Yep.
All right. Coming out of executive session, we'll move on to personnel matters. I need a motion for 13A, the recommendation to approve teacher for tutoring, as mentioned in the motion. Do I have a motion? Sam Cribbett? Do I have a second?
Second.
Melanie Schaus?
And for the minutes, it should say 26, 27.
I see.
25, 26.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Clifton?
Yes.
Mr. Cribbit?
Yes.
Mr. Lindsey?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
13B, I need a motion for the recommendation to approve stipends for the 2026-2027 school year. It's $40 per class for the entire 2026-2027 school year for Andrew Cheney. Do I have a motion? Sam Cribbett, I will second. Any discussion? None, roll call.
Mr. Cummins?
Yes.
Mr. Clifton?
Yes.
Mr. Cribbit?
Yes.
Mr. Lindsey?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson?
Okay, we move on to 13C, the motion for the recommendation, motion for the recommendation to approve the resignation of Chris Smith, effective August 31st, 2026. Do I have a motion? Brandon Lindsay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Clifton, discussion? I wish Mr. Smith good fortune at West Union, and congratulations on the position. Thank you for serving our district. He lives here, so appreciate everything he does. Roll call.
Mr. Cummins?
Yes.
Mr. Clifton?
Yes.
Mr. Cribbit? Mr. Lindsey?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson?
13D, need a motion for recommendation to approve the resignation of Christy McVickers from the 8th position as of August 31st, 2026. Do I have a motion? Brandon Lindsay, I will second. Any discussion? Also want to thank Christy McVicker for her time with us. Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, was she a coach as well?
Bowling.
Bowling coach, yeah, I thought so, yeah, bowling coach. So thank her for her
Very
time.
involved with the community.
Yeah, congratulations on her new position. Wish her success. It's always nice to move somebody up to a newer position, so congratulations. Roll call.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Clifton?
Yes.
Mr. Cribbit? Mr. Lindsey?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson?
Need a motion for the recommendation to approve a step change for Karen Green to Masters plus 30. Do I have a motion? Sam Cribbett, do I have a second?
Second.
Brandon Lindsay, any discussion? Seeing none, roll call?
Mr. Cummins?
Yes.
Mr. Clifton?
Yes.
Mr. Cribbit? Mr. Lindsey?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson?
13F, I need a motion for the recommendation to employ substitute classified staff for the 2026-2027 school year. Katie Chamber and Rebecca Hall. Do I have a motion? Sam Cribbett, second. Melanie Schaus, any discussion? Seeing none, roll call?
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Clifton?
Yes.
Mr. Cribbit?
Yes.
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson?
Yes.
13G, I need a motion for the recommendation to approve exempt staff salaries for the 2026 contract year, and they're mentioned in the motion. Do I have a motion? Sam Cribbett, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Clifton, any discussion? Seeing none, roll call?
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Clifton?
Yes.
Mr. Cribbit?
Yes.
Mr. Lindsey?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson?
Yes.
All right,
Addendum.
addendum. 13H, need a motion for the recommendation to approve the resignation of Isabella Mickles from her drill team position as of June 24, 2026. Do I have a motion? Did I hear Melanie? Sam? Do I have a second? Brandon Lindsay? Any discussion? Thank you, Isabella, for your time with the drill team. Wish you best. Wish you the best. Roll call.
Mr. Cummins?
Yes.
Mr. Clifton?
Yes.
Mr. Cribbit? Mr. Lindsey?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson?
Yes.
13I, need a motion for the recommendation to employ supplementals for the 2026-2027 school year. Liliana Mickles, drill team, registered July 1st, 2026. Do I have a motion?
I'll motion.
Mr. Clifton, do I have a second? Sam Cribbett, any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Mr. Cummins? Mr. Clifton?
Yes.
Mr. Cribbit? Mr. Lindsey?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson?
And finally, 13J, I need a motion for the recommendation to approve volunteers for the 2026-2027 school year. Joe Allen for middle school football and Isabella Nichols for drill team. Do I have a motion? Brandon Lindsay, I will second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Mr. Clifton? I'm sorry, Mr. Cummins?
Yes.
Mr. Clifton?
Yes.
Mrs. Crivet? Mr. Lindsey?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson?
So I want to thank everybody in our district. The school year is upon us. We're knee deep into it, and our education is the top notch. And it sounds like our education scores are going to come back the same way this year. It's amazing to me the size we continue to grow as a district. It's amazing to me the support that we get as a district and how we educate our students. So I want to congratulate everyone in our district, and starts with our leader, Mr. Early. I want to thank our donors this evening. It's always nice to have donations given back to our school to help in every form and fashion to help educate kids and move them in the right direction. I did see something today that the farmers market held a kind of like a fundraiser down at the farmers market, raising money for our free lunch program and I guess other lunch bills that need to be paid for. So thank you to the farmers market for again helping our school. The food pantry that Matt mentioned. Thank you for involving our student athletes, involving our athletes to help them understand what servant leadership means and how to help people in the community, and thank them for putting that together. That's not easy, and it's definitely not easy to find volunteers and things they give out. Alan, thank you and your staff for the budgeting that you're working on. I know it's not easy. I appreciate what you're doing, and thank you for all the time you put into the forecast. I appreciate you on that. I put down here, Dan McKibben's been doing this trip for a long time. It is if any of you have been on it, it's a long trip and it's fun, but it can get tiring. And thank Dan for putting it together. There's a lot of legwork that goes into putting this trip, and I've never heard anything negative about it, always positive. So thank you, Dan, for doing that. Anything else from the board? Okay. I need a motion for adjournment.
A motion.
Brian Leslie, I need a second.
Second.
Mr. Clifton? Roll call.
Is it Lindsey and Clifton?
Yeah.
Mr. Cummins?
Yes.
Mr. Clifton?
Yes.
Mrs. Crivet? Mr. Lindsey?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson?
8:48.